Hey guys, welcome back. Today the search engine Google Doodle is celebrating Ella Fitzgerald's 96th birthday. Do you know about Ella Fitzgerald? Who was Ella Fitzgerald? Let's talk about her life story. Ella Zane Fitzgerald was an American jazz singer, sometimes referred to as the First Lady of Song, Queen of Jazz, and Lady Ella. She was noted for her purity of tone, impeccable diction, phrasing, timing, intonation, and a horn-like improvisational ability, particularly in her scat singing. She was born on April 25, 1917 in Newport News, Virginia. She was the daughter of William Fitzgerald and Temperance Tempe. Henry was described as mulatto in the 1920s census. Her parents were unmarried but lived together in the East End section of Newport News. For at least 2.5 years after she was born in the early 1920s, Fitzgerald's mother and her new partner, a Portuguese immigrant named Joseph de Silva, moved to Yonkers in Westchester County, New York. Her half sister, Frances de Silva, who she stayed close to for all of her life, was born in 1923. By 1925, Fitzgerald and her family had moved to the nearby School Street, a poor Italian area. She began her formal education at the age of 6 and was an outstanding student, moving through a variety of schools before attending Benjamin Franklin Junior High School in 1929. Starting in third grade, Fitzgerald loved dancing and admired all snack hipster. She performed for her peers on the way to school and at lunchtime. She and her family were Methodist and were active in the Bethany African Methodist Episcopal Church, where she attended worship services, Bible study, and Sunday school. The church provided Fitzgerald with her earliest experiences in music. While she seems to have survived during 1933 and 1934 in part from singing on the streets of Harlem, Fitzgerald made her most important debut at the age of 17 on November 21, 1934 in one of the earliest amateur nights at the Apollo Theatre. She had intended to go on stage and dance, but she was intimidated by a local dance duo called the Edwards Sisters and opted to sing instead. Performing in the style of Conway Boswell, she sang Judy and the object of my affection and won first prize. She won the chance to perform at the Apollo for a week, but seemingly because of her disheveled appearance, the theatre never gave her that part of her prize. In January 1935, Fitzgerald won the chance to perform for a week with the Tiny Bradshaw Band at the Harlem Opera House. She was introduced to drummer and band's leader Chick Webb, who had asked his recently singer Charlie Linton to help find him a female singer. Although Webb was reluctant to sing her because she was gaudy and unkept diamond in the rough, he offered her the opportunity to test with his band when they played a dance at Yale University. Despite her early misunderstanding of Ella's name, has grown to adore her music. This is why she jumped at the chance to create today's doodle. Miss Fitzgerald's songs are soulful, jazzy, and create a very particular mood when played. She wanted to make sure that doodle captured that essence. She chose to create the doodle out of cut paper because she knew that she could use the technique to imitate real stage lighting and theatrically. This was the first time she had ever attempted paper craft illustration, so it was a bit scary for her. She first sketched the entire scene in Photoshop. She wanted to make sure she knew exactly where and what to cut beforehand. She had a lot of fun depicting the lighting with simple geometric shapes in some cases, such as with Ella. She added detail with color pencils. It really helped bring her to life. She did a few test photo shoots, but it still felt like it was missing something. The color weren't nearly as vibrant and blues as the photographs she had found of Miss Fitzgerald singing. She could have altered them in Photoshop, but she felt like that would have defeated the purpose of using traditional media. In 1942, with increasing decent and money concerns in Fitzgerald band, Ella and her famous orchestra, she started to work as lead singer with the Three Keys, and in July her band played their last concert at Earl Theatre in Philadelphia. While working for Decca Records, she had hits with Bill Kenny and the Ink Spots. Louise Jordan and the Delta Rhythm Boys producer Norman Granz became her manager in the mid 1940s after she began singing for jazz at the Philharmonic, a concert series begun by Granz. In her most notable screen role, Fitzgerald played the part of singer Maggie Jackson in Jack Whit's 1955 jazz film Petty Cale's Blues. The film co-starred Janet Leigh and singer Peggy Lee. Even though she had already worked in the movies, she sang two songs in the 1942 Abbott and Costello film Ride M. Combe. She was delighted when Norman Granz negotiated the role for her, and the all-time considered her role in the Warner Brothers movie the biggest thing ever to have happened to her. She made numerous guest appearances on television shows, singing on the Frank Sinatra Show, the Carol Burnett Show, the Andy Williams Show, the Pat Boone Carey Showroom, and alongside other greats Nat King Cole, Martin, Mel Tom, and many others. She was also frequently featured on the Ed Sullivan Show. Perhaps her most unusual and intriguing performance was of the Three Little Maids song from Gilbert and Sullivan's and comic opera The Mikado alongside John Sutherland and Dinah Shore on Shore's weekly variety series in 1963. She has one child and his name is Ray Brown Jordan. Musical careers, and she was active in 1929 to 1995. So, last of the end, Fitzgerald suffered from diabetes for several years of her later life, which had led to numerous complications. In 1995, Fitzgerald was hospitalized briefly for respiratory problems. In 1986, for congestive heart failure, and in 1990s for execution. In March 1990, she appeared at the Royal Albert Hall in London, England with the Count Basie Orchestra for the launch of Jazz FM, plus a gala dinner at the Grosvenor House Hotel, at which she performed. In 1993, she had to have both of her legs amputated below the knee due to the effects of diabetes. Her eyesight was affected as well. She died in her home from a stroke on June 15, 1996 at the age of 79. A few hours later her death, the Playboy Jazz Festival was launched at the Hollywood Bowl in tribute. The Mercury read, "Ella, we will miss you." Her funeral was private and she was buried at Inglewood Park Cemetery in Inglewood. Today the search engine Google Doodle is celebrating her 96th birthday. So here she says all these years later, still working of Ella, running the Charlotte Foundation that she started and having way too much fun. Fran Morris Rosman, Executive Director, the Ella Fitzgerald Charitable Foundation. Happy birthday, Ella Fitzgerald. Hope you like this video. Then like, comment, share and subscribe. Press the bell icon for more latest videos. Thanks for watching.